All right, welcome to today's episode of the Australian Lawn and Garden Podcast. This is our live event from Sydney. We've got an amazing lineup with Dennis Scott, who is a landscaper on Foxtel Selling Houses Australia. They take some houses that are struggling to sell and turn them around on a budget. He does some amazing work, former NRL player, and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the industry. Add that to 2 lawn experts and 2 hedging experts in Heath Taylor, qualified greenskeeper at BISP, Blacktown International Sports Park. They've hosted international cricket games, soccer games, AFL games, and everything else in between. Some of the best turf services and a lot of them too, so some great experience there. Add to that, Ian Thompson, General Manager of the Lawn Shed. He has a master's in turf care. I didn't even know turf qualifications went that far, but he's got it, and he's got some of the best knowledge in the industry. Add to that, Nick Frame and Craig Ratcliffe. Nick Frame from Frame at Lawns and Gardens and Craig Ratcliffe from Southern Cross Gardens. If you've been on Instagram and you like lawns and gardens, you've probably seen their amazing hedge trimming work. I think they're some of the best in the country, and I think the Instagram followers agree, both around 100,000 followers. For a couple of guys who cut some hedges, that's pretty flippin' impressive. But also, their knowledge is there to back it up too. We did have some audio issues on this podcast. If you're curious why, it's because the speakers were actually in the ceiling. What that meant is the microphones were picking up the voice and then the reverb coming from the speakers straight after. So we try to fix it up as much as possible. Hopefully it's a good listen. We also need to give a special thanks to event sponsors, because that's what made this event free and possible. So we have the Lawn Shed, Cut Above Tools, Ego, Colin Campbell Chemicals, Makita, and Cress. Thank you so much to all those guys for helping out, and the prizes they gave on the event were fantastic. Now, let's get into the podcast.
I'm going to start with you, Dennis. You're in Sydney because you were filming yesterday. Can you tell me what it's actually like filming monsters on Selling Houses Australia?
It's great. We've got a caravan out back, and I just walk out and tell people to do what I do, and then go back to the caravan. It's air conditioned. It's great. Castle Hill, we were yesterday. Yesterday we did a walkthrough, which is like a budget chat and so forth, which you see, and then the next day is we're meant to start the renovation. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't happen. We come back in 2 weeks' time once I've done a design and all that sort of stuff, that we work out what we've got to do, and then we'll come back and it does happen in 4 days, which I have been blown away myself sometimes, going, this is never going to happen, but it does.
The other thing is that it is the most popular show. Came out like a month ago. The most popular show on Fox.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like the show. It's just that I wouldn't think that genre would be so popular.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think it's just been a juggernaut. I think it's been going for. We're currently filming our 7X season, so there's not too many shows that last for 17 years. Charlie and Shana obviously did a great job for the first 13. Wendy and I have now tried to take that banner and run with it. I think. The best part about that is there was a COVID layover, and I think it gave people a chance to mourn Charlie and Shana. I still get the odd comment going, oh, Charlie's better than you. And I go, well, you know what? Channel 7, then Homes and Gardens on Friday night. There you go. You can get your Charlie fix if you want, but in a nice way, trying to sort of stay up your ass and see you later. But yeah, look, it's blown me away too. A much popular show, all platforms, the outrates, the rugby league, the AFL, everything, sport and so forth when we're playing. So, and if you want to jump on board TVWink, logies.com.au, we've actually been nominated for a Logie. So yeah, let's get some votes in.
Not the way you shoot better, but anyways, in my wife's opinion.
Don't worry, I agree too. So I much prefer Wendy to myself as well.
I will have to say, on a serious note, that I think the funniest part about the show for me is when someone's got, this happened when I wanted to make it, there was this episode that was to sell for $1.5 million.
Yep.
And they'd really struggled to sell it, and I was like, it is a shack, right, this place. And they go, what's your budget? It's like $45,000. And you're like, do you realise that's like a toilet these days?
Yeah.
Like one else, yes, you get from that. So what you do with essentially no budget is that's what I like, is relatable. Yeah. It's not like what Trip RI, where they were like, you want this, hubcaps and TVs in the middle of your wheels.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's relatable, it's achievable, and you do some cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh, look, we've got to, you've got to be efficient with the money you've got. So you've got to think about practical solutions, and sometimes that can just be as simple as cutting out segments of concrete, filling them with grass so it actually breaks up concrete path instead of being one solid concrete path. It sort of just takes your eye and that definition of something that's softer than a concrete path. So you've got to think out of the box a little bit, which is really great. I seem to work well under pressure, so sometimes it's right at the last minute that you come up with a design, but it's pretty fast paced. There's a lot of travel, and it's the best thing about it for me is having played professional sport for a long period of time. When I finished playing sport, I sort of fell off the cliff and into a bit of an abyss, and it just really missed that team environment, and this just fills that void. Like the camera guys, the soundos, if shit's hitting the fan, like they'll put the cameras down, put their sound equipment down, and they'll get in and they'll help lay turf and like really make sure that we get it across the line by the finish time. So it's a real special thing to be a part of, a great team, and it's a good team to be a part of.
Also, I think, now, Nick, I don't know if you wouldn't necessarily agree with this out loud, but I think a lot of people look at the business that you have, and you're younger than me. You might be one of the youngest people in this room, and you are doing some amazing work, some amazing properties, and a lot of people go, how do you even get that work? How where do you even start? 12 months ago on my Airbnb places and all sorts of stuff. That's the Elisa question, right?
Yep.
I'm going to ask you to give a very short answer because there's going to be tears at the people to follow it even more. But what do you think is the secret to getting that kind of work, or even just building a business that can eventually attract that kind of work?
Honestly, it's probably because I was really, really close to Craigie, and Craig helped me a lot. So find someone that's about to move to Orange and then take all this work. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think I got really lucky with it. Like my TikTok kind of blew up overnight, and then Craig moved to Orange. Got a really nice job that he used to, and then I kind of just pumped that job on my Instagram, and then used Instagram as to kind of target the areas of Sydney that I really wanted, and then kind of got into that. So sometimes I look at the jobs I do and I go, what am I doing here? But yeah, I don't know, just have a trip around my break and move to Orange.
Everyone make friends with Craigie. Craigie, and then that's not what the answer. Well, I'll send you on Craig, so for teaser can ask more in-depth questions on that. Craig, you kind of trained Nick to a degree. Right. To a point. To a point. Well, I do agree that Nick undersells himself because you wouldn't have given the worst if he was rubbish to start with. And the second thing is that it's not like overnight that he just won, like it was a long time, he built all sorts of stuff up. But you also didn't start doing the crazy good jobs. You would have.
Not at all.
So what's your story? Because you've done Stonefields, and you've done Mirrabee Gardens. Like these are some of the most attractive Instagrammable
On my bucket list garden.
right, and most people's, right? You know, when I was traveling around, I wanted to go see Mirrabee. It's open at Talbia, but you know, like these are the places that people really want to do from your perspective. So how did you go from doing whatever job's going to come up from your, what is called your phone, to actually be able to specify it? Because you used to do a lot. My question's very long. What's the answer?
Well, but the job that I passed on to Nick, the Bellevue Hill one to beat balls, that actually came via England. Funnily enough, and then my mate Andy, the hedge barber, got contacted by the owner of that garden and said, can you come and look at it? He goes, I'm in England. I didn't actually have to have these profile, I don't think. Andy knew that I wanted to get more into topiary and get a bit more of a high-end work, and he suggested me. And then end up going out there I think like the next week, and then the week after I started doing that job. When you start showing you can start to do that sort of high-level work, it starts to just spread after that from job to job.
When you go to a job, quick answer, because if you don't answer it thoroughly, people have more that's do it for us. But when you go to a job that's complicated, what goes through your mind when you're quoting to make sure that you're not? Because I think one of the things that is underrated is your ability to quote the right amount of time to actually doing a good job. So what goes through your mind when you're quoting a complex hedging?
I've always struggled with probably I try and find something jobs that I can spend either a half day or a full day and break it into that really. And I know for 4 hours I can probably get that done, 8 hours and get that done. That's pretty much how I've done it. I try not to do really detailed quotes because I'm just not very good at it. I just know what I get done in a certain amount of time before I get down into either half day or full day, if I can.
And past those Heath, you've been here for what, close to 15 years or something like that?
Nearly 22.
Okay, so you need to hold that really close to the
Nearly 22.
Nearly 22. You only look 22. Good.
I'll say as well.
Okay. It's a very big site with a lot of challenges. And one of the things that I think people take for granted, the little bits of challenges, I think little bits, but the difference between an Instagram or home lawn and a playing surface is a lot more than what people realise, even though from afar, from a photo, they look the same, right? One of the things that you were doing last week, Pinocchio and Tim, that, well, it just doesn't need to, you could probably do a little bit more, but what the technicality or the complexity of what you guys do to make sure that you're managing money right, getting everything. So tell us what you do to control the things that are on that field there.
So the past 2 seasons, we've worked closely with the team and Land HQ, or the Hutchinson Pierce. We've been doing some drone work that actually picks up the polar within our surface. And then that sort of drone mapping can be uploaded into our GPS spraying. And we can actually go through and spot spray colours in all our cruise surfaces. I think on the weekend we sprayed just over 3.2 hectares, 2,500 worth of treated area in total, sort of saved to pay 9 litres of product, which is a pretty big statement.
Well, how many hundreds in that product?
I think thousands, you know.
So you said
we were spraying polar cure. I think it's about 2.5 litres a hectare, and yeah, so we're looking at 8 or 9 cones saving.
Right.
For our budget, yeah, so it's pretty handy.
And so things like that you guys think about, you really go. Also, I know looked at your spray rig yesterday, and there were like thousands of dollars in equipment just to mix the products correctly, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive setup from the council have made pretty big investment over the last couple of years, so they're pretty lucky.
Well, highlight that for people who use their lawns, because, you know, on paper, this, he doesn't have the Instagram with 100,000 followers like some other people on this platform. But the knowledge that you guys have is, I think, I told you this on the phone. So when somebody comes to you, so I'm some stocks on my lawn, and I've got what's doing is you probably dealt with the 700 times doing 400 hectares of this place, and you've got expectations from different people paying a lot of money and all that pressure. So pass it to Ian. Oh, unless you have something you want to say. So Ian, that's what the question you go. And Ian, you've done a lot of work that people don't probably know about making and developing actual products to be sold. And so there's not many people that actually gone down the rabbit hole of, and all as deeply as you have into looking into actually exactly how the products work and how they sell, for different situations and all sorts of stuff. What you're doing right now with the launch shed, why don't you tell us what your role is at the launch shed, and then I'll ask my question there.
Yeah, so I'm general manager at the launch shed. Really just been so got my hand in everything. I do a lot of answering of customers' questions, developing products. It's pretty easy developing a lot of these products because they're taking from the turf and a lot of just down packs. The guys that have developed those products with living turf have done a lot of research and trial work and things like that. And some we're just down packing products we know work and are used at golf courses and stadiums in Australia already.
So Chris, what I was going to say is, what is the process of saying, there's a hole in the market here, let's bring new products to that? So really you're taking the quality stuff that's used by East and golf courses and things like that and making it accessible for small packages, homeowners, people, small home contractors, not spraying 40 deliveries here.
Supposed to fill a hole in the market, I guess. We can certainly increase some of my famous target. Product development, look, Living Turf already have a range of products, so it is pretty easy to fill that hole by tourism.
Right. Well, people, you've got basically what I'm saying is you've got a landscaping expert, 2 vegetarian experts, small business guys, and 2 lawn experts. So, fire away your questions. Does somebody have a question right now? The first person is my favourite person to ask. Put your hand up if you got one. Oh, right, 16. Look at that. Conrad is actually leading in this. 2 guys that have lots of followers, Nick and Craig, right? What would be your advice to someone who wants to build their Instagram following? What to do? What's the best thing to do?
I think they usually say regular posting is probably pretty key, and Tim could probably give you a pretty good idea on that too. But regular posting I think is what they generally tell you to do, like 1 a day or something. I've never really tried to follow much of a method. I just put up what I feel like putting up, and if people like it, that's great. I don't really tend to do much other than that, but no, I don't tend to follow in that trending audio stuff, because if it doesn't match the video you're putting up, it's not really going to do anything. Yeah, you have anything?
Pretty much the exact same.
Yes, domestic. That's probably about it. Yeah, time of day I think is a key thing as well. And generally 6 or 9 I think PM seems to work best for me.
Try and post when I'm going to be on their phone, because I probably get 6 o'clock or 9 just before people are in bed. They're spending the phone for hours, and then you can try and just find that market, and then they know that that's when you need to post. So if you just try and post at the same time once a day, reels usually work the best for getting followers. I found that my photos might get 100, 200 likes. That's sick. But then my reel might get 11 million plays overnight, and just, you know what I mean? Just it's nuts. So I think if you're trying to grow a page, yes, photos are great because people can share, but reels is where people will sit and engage, and then they can follow your page directly from the reels. So if you're looking at trying to grow a page, try and just make organic, really good reels. Like a lot of Tim, the before and afters of those massive gardens that he doesn't look at the views he gets. So yeah, you can just get those really good reels in. I think that's one way to really grow your page really organically.
Ryan Wilson. When you said before to get an eye on some pipeline work, you use Instagram for designing your sites and posts. How did you find out what areas you wanted to target to get the work? Because you on the Google Apps
was on Instagram. I don't know how I came across it, but I was just kind of going through the advertising things you can do. And there's this thing where you can basically drop a pin and you can set a perimeter to 25 k's in an area. Yeah. And then you basically you run an ad there for 7 days, and then people in that area get fed the ad. So if you're going in Instagram stories and you keep swiping across an ad box, people in that area get your ad. Right. So when I moved to East Suburbs, obviously I wanted to go on work in East Suburbs, so I just ran ads of the job I took over from Craig and just targeted that area and just kept uploading those ads, and then more and more just came through in that area. So I think it's time to get work in the areas that are gone.
To a fairly soon question, put your hand up, and what we're doing that, I would like to follow up on that and just say that I think it's interesting that some people are very strategic and they think about Instagram, but you guys just seem to post good stuff. And it's kind of, you boys have got, how many have you got now, 90-something?
92 or something. I made TikTok before I shut it down and stick to the back.
And you shut it down because...
Couldn't bother.
It's funny.
Just hang on, so you can buy a little fish.
Told me the choosing bosses. I don't want to go on. But the other area I get is that some people are really chasing numbers, and actually a lot of people have had podcasts with a lot of numbers. We're not actually necessarily chasing one. It's that they started with the foundation of doing really good work, and then our camera is just Tim. There's a story the last 3 months. I was saying, they don't listen to Chase the Day numbers, they just do good work. I think people sense that, and also they've been sense that people are trying to go on those trends all the time and actually turns people off.
I also looked at, like, don't be fooled by, like, simply as, like, when you went through analytics, a lot of my followers are in, like, Thailand. So, but I obviously don't service Thailand, so, like, yeah, sometimes you, like, get in followers, and then you look at the analytics and go, like, sweet, some huge in Brazil. You probably get it as well. So, like, one TikTok followers and a video go viral, and just, these people. And I was like, oh, I mean, had a huge income. Don't need that. So, yeah, and just, I think it's like, you see that you get a lot of followers, but sometimes the leaks out in correlate to a lot of work.
So another question from the audience. Heath, was it? Yep. Luke did mention to me that the service we were on out there in the stone, which may or may not be Greece. So Luke
He's a ballast for
so humans originally here. Was there a reason you left it to Omer, or what was there previously? Or?
No, so previously he was to the golf keeping areas or coffee, and then during this building, we got a brand new pitch and you can fill it up athletes as well. We've done a bit of testing research and stuff, and into home and just seen the new one on the block. Had all the feedback we got was really good, so that's what we went. Thank you.
If we get other questions over there, so while we're going over there though, you told me yesterday how many varieties there are here.
On site, yeah.
Yeah, can you list them all again?
Yeah, okay. So we've got Tahoe, only one at athletics, and the new pitch we were just on. Sarah, softball, Legend, baseball, Conquest, outfield, cricket, Legend, squares, Agridark across the road, full park, and then Grand Trail is as well.
You're just saying words.
Long words.
Are they all Kushra?
Calls Kushra.
And then you overserve with rye?
We didn't this year, but yes, generally we do.
Right, and what rye was you use?
Again,
Okay, here we go. 17 answers again.
No, so last year we used products from Barron Road, but like, we've done a bit of trial work and stuff. I'm not sure that it particularly matters. They all come with their own broken colors.
And what couche, you told me yesterday, but it was surprising to me, which couche do you think is best for home lawns out of the ones that you've actually used?
For a home lawn?
Yeah.
I would go on maroon. Yeah. It grows, it grows from December, almost December through mid-Feb, and it was really good through winter. That would be my pick. It was pretty late, the sun. It's a quick repair too. Yeah.
But I wouldn't have picked that. But you also, to say, you haven't had a full season of time yet either.
No, so that's best was my October. Athletics with the clay pad. It was a little bit hard just so I went through a forward, so that's where I brought in the shears on.
Yeah. Right. Well, the question that we got down here, why sort of, I suppose everyone is, what got his interest towards the dogs and your fields? So Ian's there.
I'll stop.
Weirdly, I was playing golf and become a golf course architect, and one passed through that was greenkeeping. Started greenkeeping, loved it, and did that for a long time, and then sort of got to mid-30s and sort of thought, probably don't want to do this for another 30 years, so looked at product development and again, growing into that.
I was going to be a chef at one point, and Dad took me out of that, just went a little bit around and sort of good work. And
Start there.
Lost all really about it. And he had to be butter.
It's the closest thing it gets to what I can already do it.
I'm around with it.
Yeah.
I've always loved thornwood gardens, hedges and parterres, topiary, and I've just always been drawn to it. But when I was doing a lot of my gardens, I tried to talk the clients into putting as many hedges in as I could. So I could practice on it, but the better jobs I got, the more I really fell in love with it, and just gone from there.
I got asked to leave school and had a week to decide what I was going to do. And working outside, it sounded pretty good. And then Melton's like, let's do construction. And thankfully, I live next door to Ride Tage. So went there, did construction for 6 years and just said, I don't like paving. And so I got out of that. He said, maintenance looks pretty cool. Then, so down. And I just kind of keep my headphones in and work about 8 hours. And I do my home talk down, and it's pretty cool. So I like,
I wanted to be a vet when I grew up. It was growing a 30,000 cattle property in central Queensland, so outdoors was fine. I was pretty studious as a kid, but then booze and beer became a little bit a higher priority for me. I managed to be good at football, played footy for 14 odd years, and then thought I'd better join the real world. I did a mechanics apprenticeship while I was playing football, so I'm a qualified mechanic. Finished footy as a mature-aged person, and did a carpentry apprenticeship, and then did a landscape apprenticeship, marry them both together, and just happened to be lucky enough to get myself onto Selling Houses Australia and Foxtel. So, but ultimately, I was always an outdoor guy. My grandfather was a greenkeeper at a little country town on a bowls club, so I was always helping him mow the lawns and stuff as well. So that's where my love of landscape comes.
The question really is somewhere. Well, while we're deciding what question to ask, I was going to say, when you came on this podcast, one thing that shocked me is that you put an application in for Selling House Australia. They did ask you forever. And how much notice did they actually give you?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah. It was, look, I came home. I've got a little landscape business in Brisbane. And another couple of mates, so we sort of all help each other. They had all the same similar sort of size business. I came home to an email from a mate basically saying, you don't mind having a chat, you should apply for this. And it was an application for the Selling Houses Australia, and I sort of looked at it and thought, yes, like smart ass. But then I looked at it for a few days and then thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go at that. That was part of like going to Sydney. I never wanted to go to Sydney when I played footy, but I just never wanted to go back home and have someone say that, you did. I would always wanted to be able to say, well, at least I had a go on something. I'd rather have a go at something and fail than not try at all, because then you really are failing. So I looked at it and thought, right, I'll apply for this. So I had a friend help me with a little audition video, and then they sort of asked for another one 3 months down the track, and got another one, and I didn't hear from them for, I think it was nearly 12 months, and I sort of phoned them up and said, is this still going? What's happening here? They said, we're doing it. And then I flew to Sydney, had an interview, and then heard nothing again for 6 months, and sort of rang them again, and then they rang me, I think it was like April, and they said, congratulations. And I was like, congratulations for what? Because he'd been so long. And they said, you've got the gig, can you start in 2 weeks? And I was like, I had work booked in, but I managed to make it work. And 4 years later, I'm doing it still and loving it.
How much? Because you still have your landscaping business that you still do, right?
Yeah.
And Selling Houses, is that 10 episodes a season?
10 episodes a season. It's roughly about 7 months worth of work, like from March till the sort of start of September. It's pretty manic. So during that time, you've got to look at 10 property. Well, actually, this year we've got 10 to renovate. Well, we've probably looked at 14. Sometimes they fall through. Sometimes they sell before you get a chance to renovate them. So you've got to look at the property. You've got to come up with a design. You've got budget restraints, and all of a sudden you've got to take things out. You've got to change things. You've got to adjust on the fly, and then you go to the property and you renovate it. And as I said to you before, like I've turned up with day one, had a property, and I just went, there is no way we're doing this in 4 days. No chance in the world that it's going to get done in 4 days. Sure enough, it got done in 4 days. And it's through a lot of hard work and a lot of effort, but it happens.
And sure you do, because when I was watching recently, sometimes you get a budget, you're like, oh, that seems okay. Most of the time, it's not that much. Do you remember the one that you think was the most ridiculous? And you're like, producers, how did you even let this get in?
I think the episode that you watched, how long was this little quaint country church in up there, Cessnock, how long? And the budget of 45, and it was a shack, right? There's just no way that we thought we could get it. We obviously get a lot of contra stuff and a lot of people that give us some products and stuff, which seriously helps the budget. So essentially, if you see a brand label on television, that's either heavily discounted or it's being given to us for free, which is a huge help for our budget. But most people want kitchens, bathrooms, and all that sort of stuff done, like say the outside just gets forgotten. And unfortunately, the outside of your house is the biggest room of your house. Like, it's the first thing that people see. And if people aren't enticed by what they see on the outside, generally they don't like going inside. So I'm trying to sort of tell them that, like, it's bloody important. The outside's cool. First impressions. So I've generally got to deal with the dregs, so I've got to be creative. It's a tough one.
I have actually noticed that, but I don't envy your position because Wendy's position, because Wendy, typically speaking, will have the more expensive product, the more expensive taste. Yes. I know, like a kitchen, just to put an oven in, would cost. The oven might cost the same amount as all your tip stuff in China.
Yeah. And we've been really lucky as far as our grass wires goes. I will be upfront, like Wall Solutions Australia, for me, have looked after me like for the last 2 or 3 years. So all their turf suppliers that I've dealt with have been just incredible, and generally they will help us out like no end with lawn. And it's just an important part. I mean, it's a couple of the outside world grass. It's like, it's one of the last things to go down. Like inside, you put carpet in last because you don't want people walk on it. Like, I'm quite particular about high grass so that I don't people walking on it when it's freshly laid. And it just makes the world a better place. Honestly, it just makes it feel like if you can do nothing but lay a fresh lawn on the outside of the house, and it just smartness things up, makes the place feel so much better.
But I want to see your question. I'll throw it back up to yours if they got works. Have you heard of the budget so low it says it's a pay the law degree?
I've used colour guard a few times just quietly.
All right, there you go. Any more questions? You got one back here.
Thank you. I just was interested if you have short-term goals and long-term goals. So what would your goals be in the next 12 months and possibly 5 to 10 years for your business and yourself?
Short-term goal is to just get through to Christmas at the moment, obviously. Look, I've got a lot going on personal-wise with me, so my short-term goal at the moment is just survival. Long-term goal is obviously I want to try and establish myself a bit more in the design world as far as landscaping goes, and I want to try and get off the tools and get myself into more of that design side of things instead of the construction. I'm not getting any younger and my body's not getting any better with age either. So that's my long-term goal, is to get more so into the design.
Short term, well, we're getting married next year, so if I can get through to that, I'll be pretty happy. Short term, just survive that. Any question? Long term, I think as long as I'm just enjoying what I'm doing, I'm happy. So the long term goal for me is just enjoying it. As long as I'm enjoying getting up every day and going to work, then I'm happy. That's my goal. So yeah, please
City traffic so expects to ruin that one.
Yeah.
So I'd start.
Turn to understand that, say.
That for late
Orange, yeah.
You drove up from
this morning, and straight into traffic.
Yeah. So was the least enjoyable part of the last 45 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
Before I was on my
It slows down, just straight traffic. Well, feels like it to me anyway.
So your goals are not going back to cities?
No, straight back over the mountain again.
So what are your goals?
Short term, I'd like to, my place, building the gardens at my house, trying to make them.
Well, tell me a bit more about it. So I know about it, most people don't.
Well, we've got a 6-acre property out at, it's Browns Creek. It's near Orange, and we finished building a year ago now. It's now just trying to establish the gardens at my place to what I've got in my head. Trying to get that out onto the ground is difficult when you're working with that much land and soil and plants and frost.
But do you eventually want us to be like some of these famous gardens in Australia? Maybe not as Davis, I've got all your goals over to say.
I'd love to.
But you will eventually be able to come and do tour of things.
Yeah, there's a little ramble, Millsville Garden Ramble. That's just down the road. So in a few years, I'd like to open it to that if I can get there. I think just I like to try and work in as many of my bucket list gardens as I can here and overseas. But probably long term, I want to start a topiary tour business. So go to the best gardens in France that specialise in topiary, like Marcusac, and do private tours, like for 10 people or whatever, and get behind the scenes with the head gardeners and that sort of thing. And so that's long term. Yeah.
Sweet. So we'll get ready to go on tour, right?
Yeah.
50 nights and that'll
Might be a bit hard than that.
I'll get some Dennis's TV, mate, and we'll go. Just give me away.
I wish. Short-term goal, the next couple of weeks, we'll trip up and see straightforward with daughter turns 1. So pretty similar, just maybe some more, it can get through that. Yeah. The long-term goal, I'm not still sure. And I don't really know. It's really all those things on what you say.
Well, I guess, you have a very unique show where you are now. So if you're content and happy, then, maybe not dying.
Yeah, no, I'm that's everything. That is an instinct. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'll get you go.
All right, next time we have rainy bit it is. Yeah.
We're ready.
What about you, Ink? Look, short term, coming up to stream, obviously with a retail read, the home consumers and things like that. It's a very busy time. Maybe one to do is stop out in the gardens. It's a question. So getting through the growing season is always the goal for me. Getting through next winter, things slow down a bit. Long term, I think I'm trying to get the lawn shed to be a cowstyle name. There's brain of can't get that through. Do you have any other questions? Good kid at the first. Taking advice. Lots of that. Look at the question, so Leash, just a quick one. What's your favourite product or tool that is a game changer for you, your Asian businesses? Do you want me to answer that too? Yeah, sentence. My favourite product recently, good-wise, is Chai Cure. It's a wedding age. It's very expensive. You should work on that a little bit. It doesn't burn the leaves, and in Perth, a dry summer, which is not relevant to everybody here. So you don't actually, I'm not making you evil age or this, sorry. But no, it doesn't burn the leaf, and we needed a lot of wedding acid, so that was really good. And actually, I was reminded by hosts, I think some of the most underrated tools are actually some of those little hand tools that how Buff would be selling. A little hand saw, especially a folding one that you can throw back to you, or it doesn't get much going around. They are handy, and I did a side-by-side comparison test with a good quality one and a reciprocating saw, and I was just as fast with my $70 hand saw. So that's one of the special mine. What about you?
So I've got to say the Cellpro, the insecticide, in very popular product, the minerals product, very broad spectrum. Reasonably.
So that's it, about what does it do?
The Cellpro insecticide, fired August, September, it works on bilbard, African black beetle larvae, things like that. So it just protects lawns basically from really broad range of insects that begin beneath the lawn for a long time. Season long, with the exception of barley.
All right. What about any type grass?
So
any type grass?
Yeah, any grass song.
But this changes skills. I will take a lot of new toys at the time. At the moment, probably our cable for line can, we just finish the installation.
That is very fancy. But I'll explain what that is, or maybe you should explain what it is, because it's kind of like, instead of you listing out all these bottles and it's pouring them in, so you got to use a lot of products.
Yeah, it's from me.
So what does it do? Try and describe for people who don't know it and tell us how much it costs, because it's, or maybe not to the set of the whole part figure, because it's impressive, but it's also much cheap.
Oh, the unit cell.
Yeah, the whole thing, all the work that went into it.
Okay. So inside the machine, there's some colour grading, some scaffolding, and all that thermal shells on the inside of the machine, you all climb through the wall. And then on the outside of the colour there, so we can drop on and that sort of up and down. Fly sailors of each car, you goes down into the camper meter.
Purchase amount.
Yeah.
Acid million.
Yeah. And then that's the scale, you get a Dave goal. If that goes down the next to that's got potable water salt, and then you part it straight from the sky into the straight, and the water's off and face that. It effectively moves in line with so then handling when it comes to put a lot of occasions.
And because Egypt can
yes, yeah, get rid of the word done.
but it's in $1,000.
Yeah, there's been a decent amazing look.
Your boss has probably done me the same, but anyway, it's not cheap, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it's like it was.
I reckon you would steal your, what's in the back of the spray? 1,000 litres? Yeah, so 1,000 litre spray, you could probably do that in half the time and save about 200 litre spray.
Yeah,
manually measuring it all, being a customer strict. Yeah.
Great. I think long term is just the change from petrol to battery gear. That's been so much easier to do 8-hour days and just lifting a hedge or above your head. And the lightness of some of this battery gears just changed the way I work. And I think as soon as I started using the battery gear, my level of quality of work went pretty dramatically. So I wasn't getting fatigued halfway through the day, and I was just wanting to get through it. Now I can actually look at it and finesse it a lot easier, because I'm not trying to struggle with the weight of the petrol hedger.
So like favorite tool I use. Okay, so I'm surprised you didn't say top buses. So favorite product, because we work with a lot of buses, just in for buses, it gives us the best results where they just gets really green, healthy, thick on the inside. And definitely my favorite tool, also surprised you didn't say.
I was leaving for you.
Oh, thanks. The Kahadi part, the curved shears. We use them for oil Tokri. They've got a curved blade. They just really, really sharp kind of perfect force for when we go into the real. Then it's spark type. You're looking at getting a pair of shears. They are really expensive, but the result you get out of them is 7
By a bit expensive. How much is a bit expensive?
$440
for some can shears.
And it was just I usually send to me your post and make it. They feel I'm magic to you. It's got the action on it.
We send it to the case as well. We send them back to Japan to get sharpened every year. And then come back. No, not. I was cleaning the manager the other day, and Maria said, like, get it. So what are you doing? Why are you saying, you know, like, you don't understand these are expensive, and they have to understand.
Brisbane's had a tough year over the last couple of years with lawn grub, so a celloprint is like fantastic. Lawn grub, we try and find that it's probably about a 6 month, you might push at 6 months. Yeah, so generally I get like about every 4 months or 5 months. And it works. You just know it works. You can go to Bunnings and get some gram killer, but we all know that it's not a first grade and it's made for the general public predominantly. So the celloprint GR is just fantastic as far as the product goes. Tool-wise is, look, all day, every day. Pair of secateurs are great. I use Velcro, sorry, but that's sort of is what I've got. But if you want to give me a pair of yours to try it. And my silky saws, my silky saws are just, they're incredible. They're just so sharp, like you just use them, nothing will work, and it's just, I find that they're fantastic.
Well, look, yes, we're going to the gear. I always find it, once we wall up, we're so afraid to it takes a long time to get started, then we can't still hear with those with the vicious. What have we got?
We've actually got experts. I've heard a few that I've been burning on properties that I worked at. I just laid out some tips for keeping them consistent. So if I have a row of walls and deck them, this is a little trick that, again, that Andy, the hedge barber, was telling me, where get a tennis ball, you hold it out arm's length and helps you walk back so it disappears into the shape of the ball. You can see where you're out. I did that at the Bellevue Hill job, but I had to walk across the road, the balls were that big. That's a good way because you're staring at it.
It's a great way to make it walking.
Yeah. Happy reads. Don't mind me.
Yeah, that's really good too.
Yeah, I was working down with Tim at Stonefields late last year, and he just got basic poly pipe into at different height, different widths, and would put them on to find which one would work, and then we just trim around the poly pipe. I've got a video I can show you later. He just had a bunch of different sizes of that, and he moved around the ball, and then just get a basic, or just do one ring around, just turn around, do another one, then fill in the gaps, and tend to work pretty well for him. And his funds are pretty insane down there. So
I did the exact same as you. So
Nick goes and laughs in our balls. That's
it's great. He kind of introduced me to the tennis ball trick, so I'm also the crazy guy in the middle of the street. It looks good.
Yeah, once you get them right, you can then just follow where you were the trim before. If you're trimming regularly enough, you don't lose the shape then. But
what else we got for the audience? Got a few ones back there.
Just with the hedging guys again, you say that the good up content, social media, that it's your work and it's your aim. What's the aim of your content? That you can obviously choose, you've got the clientele, you know what's the aiming for that. So what content I'm putting up? Yeah, and just what you want to get out of that because you've already sort of known, and you've got clients, you've got work. I'm just putting up stuff that I really like doing. It's just my passion tends to be what I put up, but if I'm trying to get in more of more topiary work, I'll just put out more of that and push that out a bit more. And it's essentially how most of my work, the high-end work, came. Just putting out that one from Bellevue Hill, and that just seemed to show you can do that work to a higher level. And then the jobs just sort of come in a way, and I'd add that. I just tend to put up the stuff that I like looking at myself, really, and I kind of hope that other people might like it too.
Do you guys get any? So you answer the question first.
I was just that I kind of like my followers, they kind of know the job. Yeah, so I kind of just post so they kind of see what's going on with the job. Like we've recently done one random at Darling Point, we put perennial right out, and I'm just been posting updates to that, and it seems to engage people like that. So my content's more so just progress of jobs and what's going on in the garden. Well, that's basically my goal. Whether it's just and also because we do a lot of work with designers, the designers can see their jobs that they designed 2 or 3 years ago, and then they can add notes like, oh let's do this box, let's do this. So for me, it's more just kind of updating my followers as to what's going on around the garden, because it becomes so familiar with the jobs that I do.
So while he's getting marks on as they go, you had a question. So just very quickly, do you guys get a lot of requests for work from those photos, or is it less than what people would see?
Oh, less than again. Yeah, like you do is coming across, you can't cater them all, but yeah, it's not as many as you think. Like, a lot of my jobs have come from Instagram DMs and requests, but yeah, it's probably not as sparkly for this.
Yeah, probably the same. Yeah, I think when I started putting up that main one, that Velby Hill, that Canada flew that one. So I tend to get a lot of work, especially with the balls of topiary from that one. And then it sort of tailed off a little bit, but it comes in waves, really, priority sort of.
Oh, yeah. What's your big film career? You do all these podcasts and see all we are, but how you find it social? I mean, WA, Rangers, words together, stuff, all these petty bills, 80 readers, now, the other things, good dollars, like that. I've done a little bit. If it is the initial which I'd like to do, I would do, it wasn't my original plan, but we've done 4 events and 8 or 9 podcasts in 2.5 weeks. So it's really soon. I haven't really had much stress. Otherwise, there's some feedback and some noise. I don't know why that's. Sorry, I was some fist. I haven't had the chance to go to see all the stuff I wanted to see. You know, there's a lot of people that I really wanted to chat with, people who build podcasts and clients just couldn't make it work. But what I've noticed is the climate, and you know this on paper, but when you see the cold, you really see the changes in the rainfall and things that naturally grow that plants I didn't even know, I'm not aware of, and there's everywhere on the side of the road, certain type of eucalyptus trees. My wife was saying it's like, it's everywhere you go, everywhere, it's, and he gave me an appreciation for the complexity of the role, because, we actually said this in the podcast that we do these averages and we really honed our averages into our climate, and they would not work at all it's that herring. As, a lot of the lessons you might have learned, like there's fundamentals of lawn care that you can learn, but to just copy and paste it, there's a lot of skill required to understand that. And so that's one of the things I've gone to. But these next 4 weeks, and then I'll actually probably holiday after this.
So you went to study basically the year of WA, and where you don't see applies.
Yeah,
because it's like, I only saw local saying for the last 5 years, because I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure our program.
Whereas we had 7.5 months with 2 mil. In Perth, that's how dry I was from October through till mid-May. And then we got 30 mil in the middle of May, and then so it was 33 or so, whatever it was, mil 8 months in the year. It was that's the dry season they had, but getting different. Any other questions we have the audience? I should ask you guys. Do you get a lot of requests for work from TV?
I think it's a little bit like these guys. It's not as much as what you think. I mean, I didn't enter the TV world because I wanted to boost business. I have no signage on my cars. I haven't advertised in 9 years. I do not need extra work. The main reason why I decided to do the TV stuff was literally to try and get myself off the tools a little bit, give my body a bit of a break. Like after 14 years of NRL, and crack ship that 5 groin operations, 3 nosomes, shoulder reconstruction, knee reconstruction, like it's just, it takes its toll. So that was my main reason for trying to go to the TV world. Look, I still work bloody hard on the TV because I figure that if I don't do it myself, then I can't expect other people to be that are working with me to be doing it as well. So I'm generally the first to the side. I try and be the last to leave side to try and sort of set a standard. These trades that we get coming in to help us, Wendy and I have got to set the standard. So if we're grumpy or cranky, people going, shit, get cranky and cranky, they really I'm doing it for you. So we've got to try and set the mood on site, and we've got to try and set the standard, and that's just what we try and do. So I tried to get off the work, but I like doing that, but and Joe and so yeah.
Right, let's go with the audience. No, Kevin again. King Boy easy yesterday, so you can answer their questions as you want. Thank you, Craig. You guys get into plant growth regulators involved? Is there any?
No, I haven't. I think she's like, it's kind of a place to learn, but never.
Well, Ian, did you want to talk about that? Because I might be speaking at school, but is this Syngenta going to release something again? Just asked about. Well, it sounds sort of takeoff regulator is anyway for those who don't know. Because I've actually talked to these guys. I'll think about it. Like, oh, I didn't thought about it. What did you?
Yeah, but see, the hedge guys use plant growth regulators. They sort of are diminishing their work. So it's like, you know what? I don't regulate the growth of the plant. I want it to grow so I can actually. Guess what? I've got to come back next week.
Yeah, the intent is the question. There is what's called trimmer on its Syngenta make that is a plant growth regulator. Obviously, if you're getting paid to trim the hedges, probably don't want to use it. However, if it's more designed for sort of big sites or with golf courses. When I was working in golf courses, you get formal hedges, they're around 10 boxes and things like that, and you'd be able to for days trimming hedges. Have 8 kilometres of hedges around paths and buildings and things like that over the site. So growth regulators is a good thing, especially if you're a turf, you have a passion for hedging. Sorry guys. So they exist.
Not trying to convince these guys to do, like, that sounds like they really tried, but just an idea would be to, if you were from the small business owners, how many people are small business owners? Just about everybody yet. I think a real powerful tool is to move people away from thinking about hourly rate and thinking about the easy to do tasks in the job. It's a bit like when you go to a restaurant. A good restaurant will describe their meal in a really sort of complex way. It sort of explains the value of it. This thing is, I'm stand on point at, Burton, I'm not very good at that sort of stuff, but you get the idea. We can do that in our industry as well. And part of it would be to full blown application, all sort of stuff, monthly service, not people in, or not looking in like, a contractual way, but you have to set up on them like monthly fees and things like that. And the playground regulator side of it is actually a great sizzle, and you can be like, we use a lot of products for health the plans and slows down the growth so that you get a better value for money, and it makes you look, so those sorts of hedges where they're wanting the best premium stuff, they probably don't care, especially some of the people you work with at the budget, but not lying. If you can explain that to the person you're talking to, like, how we use products, slows the growth, means that you get better value for money, all sorts of stuff. At the end of the day, they might be paying the same amount as somebody else, but it looks like you've really thought it through. And it's the same as saying, like, this is a hamburger versus this is Angus beef, with, this relish from this place out in the middle of nowhere that they, put their heart and soul into it. It's just the way that you explain it means that one people looks less valuable, or one thing looks more valuable, even though they're kind of similar. So, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, there's still more questions? Okay. Thanks.
The question almost for rosemary plants, the laws. I don't want to go series and or sort of version absolute shit on live. Doesn't do this product or do the virtual slides. Should we bring the laws with something there as well at the same bar to still radically to reduce the bomb risk and all that for?
It's a good question. Product you're referring to is Primo Max. Most people know that as a plate growth regulator, which will use it, especially with hybrid cultures and things like that. Culture that are really fast growing, really good tool for those types of grasses. So in terms of putting fertiliser with it, I'm not big on just iron because high rates of Primo can actually give a bit of grounding on the leaf. So using things like iron is a really good opportunity. Tank overlaps and get some to the sun cold, but to rub down.
Standing in sunblock.
And another thing that we should say really briefly is one of the things about the launch product to get like this. But the launch box is because they've throttled a lot of it from all of them from them stuff. The market of use of you guys, you really want products that are compatible to mix together. because it makes a massive difference on a site like this where he clearly said how long would it take you to, if you were liquid fertilizer this entire area with your 1,000 litre sprayer, which is, as high quality as it can get, how long does it take you to apply a single liquid fertilizer to the entire facility?
Just did math. If you've got both routes going, I would say 2 days.
And the rigs are full John Deere. It's like a whole vehicle in and of itself, right? It's a proper dedicated sprayer.
Yeah.
Same type of thing we use at Abato, when you're even sort of there. So what I'm getting at here is if you could do 2 applications in one hit, you've saved yourself 2 days with 2 people, so 4 days in your total work, right? So these guys made these products that are compatible. You've told me before, well, how many products have you seen someone actually mix together, given the real world?
Sometimes it's a bit of a challenge between the sales team of movie test and, get a little amount of water. You can actually how many products and get everywhere without the water. But yeah, especially in the spring, you're looking at insecticides, weeding agent, fertilizer, pre-emergence, all in good shape. And you might have a couple of sort of liquid fertilizers in it as well. So, and something with some N, something with some K, and even just some organic acids as well. So you easily get some.
Right, well, we've done 6 as a maximum that I've ever done, which is a little bit cheeky because some of the fertilizer products that would make one product issue put them all together anyways. But I said it to small business owners because I know I have great value in this. It's like the would you like try to that. Homegrown doesn't realise that it's 2 more minutes to mix. You can say, hey, we could do, say, a pre-emergent for $100. But while we're doing it, we could also add some kelp in for $7, and we could add this product for another $10, and we could add this, and all of a sudden you got $150, and you're only putting down $3 more of product or $10 more of product, and it's that little silver stuff, and that's one reason why we use this much. And when you go to some homeowner brands, not that I have any specific in mind, but some of the products will react with each other, you virtually can't spread them out. So that's a high value thing. Now, we're in an hour, believe it or not. It doesn't feel like an hour. Do we have more questions from the audience? If we do, we can wrap. We've got one here. Which anyone who has one more question, because you put your hand up right now. We have one more over there. Are we happy to finish with that, people? 2 more questions? Let's get into it.
This is a question for everyone. There's some work you're used to studying in the garden or lawn care industry, for years, and so what's your years of studying?
I think doing a podcast to people actually rocking up. I was nervous about what I was starting. I mean, Tim wasn't the first one, so I knew people would come. The second about the after, I was nervous. But thanks for coming. You're part of my biggest achievement.
Yeah, it's a good question. Probably doing the extra study I did was done pretty hard, and still finishing that. So again, through the city of.
Yeah, it's probably either, it's one of the artists down I was one this year. He's still 15 in the World Cup. Bangladesh Packs, I think that was 3 years. Either that or probably, we were for Africa Bond to take in his
Mine's probably the the Australian bucket list gardens that I had in my head. I wanted to work in if I had an opportunity, and I've done 2 in the past couple of years. That's probably that. The Stonefield and Merivale were pretty cool to play around in for a while. That's probably it for me.
It's taken me, honestly, like 3-4 years ago, pitch on where I was today, where I'm doing that, and that's the gymnastic of moving up. Then I'm so growing now, so yeah, probably just, I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest achievement for me is doing this full time as a job and working on some of us, and for me, that's an achievement in itself, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that.
What this?
What your study citizens?
Look, I think I'm pretty privileged to play 140 NRL games. Like, for God, I was just in a country farm, just filled in and just getting further and further and further to be involved with three brilliant clubs: Brisbane Broncos, Canterbury Bulldogs, Melbourne Storm. Obviously, kids, guys, the greater achievement. Haven't got any. I've got.
That's your role, life.
Yeah.
Seconds on average.
Yeah, just that's back to my kids in second. Look, obviously the role I've got at the moment is great. It's a brilliant part of my life at the moment, which is fantastic. I'll leave the world to you about probably my master or have a solo. I can start doing volume of them in India. That's cool.
That's cool.
Last question of the night. What have we got?
So just following on with you, talk about mixing things together. Is there some sort of cheat sheet or information on what does and what doesn't mix along?
Well, just put a bit of the wine in the bucket before him.
Yeah.
Just stop picking at those.
All it means is a temporary reaction. Oh, yeah, it's a tart. So on your shelf.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's probably the best one to do it. Generally, if you buy from one of the manufacturer, then obviously we have their own range of products meant by liquids. We do all that for you. We have those cheat sheets available. It's been...
She has the other people. Thank you for going tonight.